Good morning, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall says 25 minutes to 9 on Wednesday morning in the city of the tribe, the town of No Custard. Still, we had the dinner in the Dáil last night. We're missing one of the Americans that went to meet a friend in Westport. So we all had Irish stew and pint of Guinness with it. Everybody had the same. And looked at the dessert menu: apple crumble, ice cream, cream, but no custard. I'm just afraid that it's the colour yellow, that might be thinking that was the primrose and blue they were looking at. But I was slagging a couple, but still no custard in Galway. Good feed, all right. With a good old day yesterday, they went on a 9-mile hike from Doolin back to the cliffs of Moher with Pat Sweeney. Grand man. I met him a couple of times yesterday. I met one of the biggest assholes this side of the Mississippi as a council official in Doolin, or in the cliffs of Moher. When I turned into the car park, he said, I could have given you, he walked over, he said, I could have given you a ticket for doing that. I said, for doing what? He said, for letting out 2 people out of the bus. I said, I let out nobody. He says, yes, you did. And I got a bit rose, a bit agitated. Seldom I do it, but I raised the voice a little. So he says, we'll look at the cameras. I says, I'd gladly go in with you and look at it. So he says, go on, move along. And I said, I won't move along. He said, it's about 8 people killed in crosswalks in the last 12 months in Ireland. And this was so dangerous to do. And he felt like issuing me a ticket. So I got very upset altogether. So he told me then I was arguing. I said I wasn't. I was defending an allegation of wrong against me. And he was thick enough. I was going to step out. I felt like stepping out and looking for a higher authority, and I'd have held up all the traffic and everything. But he sort of put in the horns a bit then, and he moved along. But it upset me for a while. I hate confrontations. Since I got sick a few years ago, it upsets me. It upset me for a couple of hours yesterday. But what an asshole! He wasn't Irish either. I have to say, I don't know what country he was from, but loving his job. He definitely fits the role big time for what he has it for. But anyway, we had a couple of winners yesterday. It was grand to pick out that one. The top weight. What was it? Can't think of it. I will think of it. Coolna Hayes. That was 4-1. Dog 64 hosed up. I was thinking that change of scenery with James Owen. I like him as a trainer. He transforms horses. And the other one is, he'll get some hike in the handicap from the handicapper now for hosing up as well. The one in Roscommon, the first one I thought had run better. I didn't stay, obviously. Won't be running at that trip again. I thought it, but to the downhill finish probably in Ballinrobe that looked a bit, I don't know, I should have left it alone. The other one, the ground drying out and the trip was unsuitable. Anyway, I meant to do this morning before 7, but I was awake at 6:30. But I fell asleep again. I didn't wake till 7:20, so I hadn't time to get it done and set up then before the breakfast. I have the breakfast eggs and pancakes and strawberries and fresh cream, delightful. So I'm ready now to pull a plough, or bull cows, as they say. Shout out to Thomas Mannion for meeting me for a drink last night at the Taft's Bar. We sat outside with a great chat for an hour and a half. He's a solid herding choker. Yes, there is such a thing. On to today on York. The first race is a sprint race. We tipped up that horse last week, and it was second in the Shergar Cup, that intrinsic bond. I thought the speed he might hold up, but he didn't. He was second that day, but we had each way money on him. But JM Jungle has won twice for us recently. But the only thing about it is, I look back, since 2009, no 3-year-old has won this race. And he's got up £10 for his 2 wins, so it's going to be difficult for a young sprinter that's learning his trade. Like he was 6-1 and 9-2. He got grand prices, so we'll have to back him out of loyalty. He had one run in York. He had 2. He was 4th and down the field. It's a sort of a specialist track. a lot of horses that run well there, and doesn't run well other places. When they come back here again, they do pretty well. Intrinsic Bond hasn't ran there, so we don't know what's the story, but we have to have a few quid each way on JM Jungle loyalty. But our buddy, the old Alligator Alley, is down to a winning mark again of 93, 91 actually, and it was when it was behind regional in York in the 18th of May. It was only beaten 4 lengths, 6th of 13. And that was on good ground. This is better on light and quick ground. So I'm assuming that this is going to be good for him today, that it'll be fast ground. And it'll suit Alligator Alley. Only 6. Was up as high there, you see, on the Goo, 105, 106. Has won 4 times for us before. 3 of them were on the Goo, and 1 was in Thirsk, if I remember correctly. But I had a good run behind Lord Ridderford and Bond Chairman there, so they'll be coming late. O'Mara's horses are on better form than they were earlier in the year. Alligator Alley was 12s last night. There is money for him. So I'll be doing Alligator Alley and JM Jungle in that race, splitting the stakes. There is something similar going on in the Stayers handicap. We have a horse that done us a good turn a few runs back, and it won again last week, Grappa, Nonino. And it's interesting that this was 8s last night, and could have been 9s in places. Dermot Wells sending over a horse that's rated 67. When I was 72, it up £5 for that last win. But the extra distance will suit. I didn't back at the last year because I thought mile 6 was too short. It was better at 2 mile. It took all this time to win that time in Killarney for us. But the form horse in the field, without doubt, is Aztec Warrior. Because if we're expecting a good run on Saturday from Sweet William, we'd expect this to be running this field fairly close today. Because it was only getting a pound, and it was only 4.5 lengths behind Sweet William the last time there. A good field behind it. That is the form run, and in the previous run it was behind Calling the Wind in the, wasn't that in Chester? No, Newcastle, in the Pitman's Derby. So there's 2 good runs, so that'll be the horse to beat. But I'll be doing something similar. I'll be back on a loyalty bet, and that as the bet. The win bet in it. The small fields in the 2 big races. Paddington is a 4 to 6. There's only 3 3-year-olds has won this in a while. Japan, I think, was the last 3-year-old to win this. Aidan O'Brien's. What time are we here? 3:35. Bade won it last year. Mishriff won it the year before. Japan won it, and Roaring Lion, 2 3-year-olds in 2019 and 18. And Arabian Queen won it as a 50 to 1 shot in 2015. Tactically, this will be a factor today. Paddington, this will be the fastest ground it has ran on in a while. It should be no problem at all to match to that. That was fierce impressive the last time. Our buddy Nash was in it, but if it was I prefer that over a mile anymore. But depends on she has the burst of speed. But it'll be a very interesting race. If I had a choice, I'd probably go for Mash to that in it. And then in the Great Voltager, it's a Ledger Trial. Gregory is the hot favourite, but I can't get Frankie right at all, so I can't back him. If I was doing anything, I might do Continuous, but Moher, I can't get him right either, so we'll see. So I'll be at home tonight. This is the last day, and I'll get a video up at some stage tonight. I don't know what's going to be the story then for morning or night videos and where I'll be for the next week, but I'll try and get something sorted. I'll have to get something for Ebor. I've got to get video out Friday night for sure anyway. Anyway, if I fancy something for Sligo, there was one there I want to check the market movers to see. I'll put it up later in the description. Bash the bookies, over and out.